Stimulating talk with Dave Elswick. 101.1 FM. The Answer.
All right, my guest, John Price, has been a gentleman that I have conversed with for years. I guess texting first, and then we moved over to messaging each other. But what's the name of this book?
The name of the book is called Bobby's Girls, a Novel.
Bobby's Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not talking about one of the screen teens back in the 60s, are we? No, okay.
No, a little bit later than that.
Okay.
Basically, the story talks about a brother and sister acting duo that were discovered. It's fictional, of course, but they grew up in Texas and were discovered to go onto a TV show and play the part of a brother and sister combo. And anyway, their show was aired in the 80s into the 90s.
Okay.
Popular show, supposedly, and lasted 10 years on a network TV. Of course, that's a long time for a sitcom.
It is a long time for a sitcom. You're exactly right.
So the show goes off in the late 90s, and they move on with their lives. They get married and their individual families. Not to each other. No. In fact, the young man who's the center of the story is told by the young boy that's grown up to be a man. He's probably now in his 40s or close to his 40s by the time modern day rolls around.
All right.
And so his sister and his wife, who he met on the show, by the way, she was a little bit younger than him. And so he met her, and he talks about how he met her and all that. There's even a scene in the book about how she there was a blooper scene that he always likes to go back and look at on the DVDs.
Okay.
So anyway, fast forward to modern day, his sister and his wife are called back to reprise the show. They're going to bring it back on a streaming service. And he can't go back to reprise his role right now because of his job. He's a voiceover artist in Dallas.
Making good money.
Making good money. He said, well, I don't have to really work, but I wanted to make myself useful because of the investments my family made when I was on my old show.
Right.
And he was not too pleased with some of the scripts he was getting from, he was looking at some of the Hollywood movies and TV shows he wasn't really pleased with. So he said, I'm going to move back home and pursue this voiceover stuff.
Right.
And so anyway, he tells his wife, don't tell me anything about what goes on the show. I don't want to know any of the plot lines. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised. He's that kind of guy. I want to find out when it airs.
Right.
So she goes out to California, and his sister goes out there. They tape the show and everything. And it's several months later. They're still taping some of the second season. They've already gone on to order a second season just to get it in the can.
Okay, so they liked it. And the people out there say, okay, we're going to start a second season, get it ready to go. Kind of like The Boys.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, something like that. So anyway, she comes home, and he hasn't had time to watch the show. It's made its premiere. He hasn't kept up with it or anything.
Kind of feel where this is leading, but go right ahead.
Okay. So a friend of his calls him and says, hey, I want to talk with you about this show. And he finds out that the show is a disaster.
It's not the wholesome family show that it had been when he was involved.
That's right. That's right. And in fact, they have even written his character off. I won't say what happened exactly. He didn't get killed. It's just simply they wrote him out of the show.
Yeah.
And he's mad a little bit. It's like, they didn't even tell me. And but he goes home to see his wife after being told this. Mm-hmm. And so he decides to play the show. He says, you know what? I haven't seen the show yet. Let's watch the show. And his wife basically like, uh-oh.
She doesn't want to sit down and watch it with him, does she? Okay.
She doesn't want to do that. And so when it unfolds, suddenly he's just like, this is a G-rated show. This is what she got acting. He had told her, don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
But he knew from some of her reactions at a Christmas party that they were at out in California before the show premiered, that something was not right.
So he's stunned by what he sees.
Yeah. The language, the behavior, the attitude that he's seeing on the screen, it's like,
story arcs.
Huh?
The story arcs are not
yeah.
kind of stuff that he would like to see happen.
No. In fact, he doesn't even get past the first 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
And so what happens next is that there's a series of events that start popping up, like kids acting out the show at church.
Uh-oh.
Scenes from the church. Oh, his kids come home. They had been at the neighbors. Turns out they were watching the show. They're reciting songs and words from the show. And they get all upset. Well, obviously he's upset. Say, well, okay, that's enough of that.
Right.
Because he's a Christian. He said, we're Christians. We don't do this kind of stuff. He reveals that he's a Christian.
Uh-huh.
Because they became believers during the time when they were in California.
Okay.
They weren't believers until they were out there. And anyway, so they're dealing with this whole issue of how are we going to deal with this? Because
how's his, I don't want you to give away any of the plot, but how's his wife responding to her kids watching this and then coming back and singing some of these songs that evidently are not the songs that they would want their kids to sing?
Right. Horrified.
Okay.
Not only that, she's horrified to learn that kids at school, the kids say, hey, our aunt and our mom, they think y'all are cool. All these things y'all are doing on the show and all this. And she's just horrified. And she's even upset. She's like, I wanted to tell you, but you said you didn't want me to tell you about what was going on. So I honored your word. I didn't, but I wanted to tell you.
How about his sister? Does he call his sister and say, hey?
Yeah. Well, he does talk a little bit with her. At one point, I think he texted her. She was busy on some kind of, I think when he was trying to contact her at that point, she was on some other assignment or movie or whatever. She hadn't heard all the stuff yet. I guess maybe she didn't want to admit to it.
Yeah. Get you.
You know how sisters are.
Right.
So, but anyway, fast forward through all this. So it starts causing a lot of craziness. There's even a death that happens out of state.
Oh.
College, in fact, now those of you who are in fraternities, please don't get mad at me for doing this, but there was a fraternity party at a school, made up school in Tennessee. Girl dies, alcohol overdose, because they were recreating a scene from one of the episodes from the show, and so that really upsets.
Okay, so this is called Bobby's Girls, a novel. Right? When you're writing for Amazon, do they read some of the stuff that you're doing before they publish? Or are they saying, you got a good thing going here? This is an interesting book that you're writing.
They didn't say anything to me about the content.
Okay,
about it.
Didn't say boo to you, huh?
They didn't say boo to me, no.
Okay. Are there any similarities between the living or dead with some of your characters? I won't ask you to say who they might be, but did you know some people that you used as your template?
Not personally.
Okay.
Not personally, but I would say that the people that they resemble, and in fact, there are some folks out there that probably can put two and two together it was a streaming show, by the way.
Okay.
They put the wrong rating on it, got the wrong rating on it. Apparently, the executive producer of said show wanted it to be dirty. They didn't. They tricked them.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, in the story, that is.
Yeah.
But the template of the people, real people involved, there are some real people involved. Or I should say that are a template.
All right. Bobby's Girls. If I go on to Amazon tonight, Kindle, can I find it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'd be one of the first people that pick up a copy of your book, dude.
Yeah.
I want to read it now. You got me interested.
Yeah. It's got some interesting stuff. I mean, as I said, I've always been a fan of radio and television, acting. And when I saw this whole situation, the inspiration behind it, it really shocked me, and I just said, maybe I need to write a book on this and see where it goes. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I've had family that's been in the media. You mind if I share with y'all who one of them or a couple of them?
I got 1 minute.
Okay. Karen Fuller at Channel 7 used to be there.
No, Karen.
She's second cousin.
She's still up in Kansas City?
She's in Cedar Rapids now.
Oh, Cedar Rapids. Okay.
I'll throw this other one out there. This might cause some people a stir. David Limbaugh.
He's going to be on my show next week.
Maybe I need to have a chance to talk with him. Maybe I
haven't talked might have to him.
Yeah,
I'm going to have. I think he's on next Wednesday. He's got a new book out called "For a Reason of Insanity."
We haven't had a chance to talk to each other, unfortunately. Time and distance.
All right,
third cousin.
Buddy, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
John Price is his name. Bobby's Girl, the name of the book. You can get it on Amazon Kindle. Pick up a copy. I'll be back. Chris Corbett's coming on. He is Ask the Attorney.